What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, it's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing my updated 2024 NASCAR Cup Series silly season and driver lineup predictions. We're going to go through all the full-time and part-time entries for 2024. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to go ahead by starting to talk about the one car for Trackhouse Racing. This has already been confirmed as it was announced on February that Ross Chastain has signed a long-term contract extension with Trackhouse Racing. It also was announced that Busch will be sponsoring Ross Chastain for many races in 2024 and at least for the next 2 years, as Ross Chastain will continue driving the one car for Trackhouse Racing in the 2024 season. Up next, how about the two car for Team Penske? This has been confirmed as Austin Hendrick in the last couple weeks to sign a multi-year contract extension with Team Penske that will keep him in the two car at least for the foreseeable future, which was expected considering the fact he is son of Tim Hendrick, who is the president of Team Penske. Hopefully, Austin Hendrick though will have a much better year in the 2024 season. Up next, how about the three car for Richard Childress Racing? This already confirmed, as Austin Hill confirmed last year, that he has a contract with Richard Childress Racing through 2025. But I would imagine in the next 2 years that Austin Hill is going to sign a multi-year contract extension. Well, he has struggled in the 2023 season. He looks to improve going to 2024. Maybe gets a new crew chief for 2024, but next year needs to be much better than it has been in 2023. Up next, how about the four car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This has been confirmed as Josh Berry will be taking over for Kevin Harvick in 2024 as Kevin Harvick retires from full-time racing in the NASCAR Cup Series after a illustrious and great career. Josh Berry has been pretty solid in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year in 2023, not scoring a win, but he's also had a substitution role in the Cup Series as well. Hopefully, Josh Berry does a really good job in the four car in 2024. Expectations are going to be really, really high. We know that Stewart-Haas Racing's had a lot of struggles so far this year, but nonetheless, Josh Berry will join Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024. Up next, how about the five car for Hendrick Motorsports? This has already been confirmed as Kyle Larson has a contract through 2026 with Hendrick Motorsports. And I would imagine how good Kyle Larson has been in 2023, I expect that he is going to get a contract extension sometime in 2024 or 2025. By 2025, Larson could potentially be a champion once again in the Cup Series. He could win the championship in 2023, but he for sure will be back in the five car in 2024. Up next, how about the six car for RFK Racing? This already confirmed as Brad Keselowski has a long-term deal, as of course he is the owner of RFK Racing. And no, Brad Keselowski's probably getting to the latter stages of his NASCAR Cup Series career. He wants to continue great things and continuing to build the RFK Racing brand. I think he will have an outside chance at the championship in the 2024 season. And nonetheless, Brad Keselowski will continue driving the six car in 2024. Up next, how about the seven car for Spire Motorsports? This has been confirmed as in the last 2 months, Corey LaJoie has signed a multi-year contract extension with Spire Motorsports. Now, Corey LaJoie is going to have a lot of pressure going into the 2024 season. He's going to have two really good young teammates being with him in 2024. But LaJoie has always been underrated, and I think he'll have a pretty good year in 2024. Up next, how about the 8 car for Richard Childress Racing? This has been confirmed as Kyle Busch at least has 3 to 4 years left on his contract and probably is going to be there till at least 2031 or 2032 is my guess. Kyle Busch has had a pretty good year for Richard Childress Racing the first year, and the goal in 2024 is to try to win the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. And I think Kyle Busch has a really great chance and really great opportunity to do that in 2024. Up next, how about the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This has already been confirmed as Chase Elliott has a contract with Hendrick Motorsports through the 2027 season. And I do expect that Chase Elliott is going to be really, really strong in 2024. And also, I think will be a championship threat in 2024 as well. I think he's going to win races. I think he's getting back to his winning ways. And I think he will continue doing great things at Hendrick Motorsports for many years to come as he looks to win his second NASCAR Cup Series championship in 2024. Up next, how about the 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? There's been a lot of chatter and speculation surrounding the 10 cars. Nothing has been confirmed at this point. It sounds like, though, that Eric Almirola is going to retire at the end of the 2023 season, and it does sound like the driver that's a favorite for the 10 car right now is Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson hasn't reinstated back into sport in recent weeks and actually last month or two, and he's been heavily linked, according to Bob Pockers, as being the favorite for the 10 car currently at the moment. And I think with his sponsorship funding that he has right now, I think Noah Gragson will, in fact, end up in the 10 car for 2024. He's my guy who I think will get in the 10 car for 2024. Up next, how about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This has been confirmed as Denny Hamlin announced September that he has signed a multi-year contract extension with Joe Gibbs Racing. They will keep him this car for 2024 and 2025. I think that Denny Hamlin will be a championship threat once again in 2024. I think Joe Gibbs Racing is going to bring the same pace and speed they've had for a long time and will continue being in this car in 2024. Up next, how about the 12th car for Team Penske? This has already been confirmed as Ryan Blaney has a contract with Team Penske through, I think, 2026 or 2027. Ryan Blaney's already scored 2 wins in 2023, and he'll be looking to win more races and try to win his first championship at the end of the year and try to make it to the championship 4. I think it's going to be a tough road, though, for Ryan Blaney to get that done. Up next, how about the 13 car for Kaulig Racing? Yes, I expect Kaulig Racing is going to have their part-time entry back for 2024. And I believe that AJ Allmendinger and Matt DiBenedetto are going to split the ride. AJ Allmendinger is linked to be returned to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on a full-time basis in 2024. And Matt DiBenedetto at times has been linked to Kaulig Racing. So I think that this ride is going to be split between them. I think AJ is going to run all the road course races next year and a few intermediates. And I think Matt DiBenedetto will run the short tracks and probably some super speedways and some of the intermediates as well. But I think this car will show up to the racetrack quite a bit in 2024. Up next, how about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This has been confirmed at the start of the season as Chase Briscoe has a long-term contract with Stewart-Haas Racing and will keep this car for many years to come. While Chase Briscoe struggled this year in the Cup Series in 2024, he's had some good runs at times, but he'll need to improve next year as this, of course, will be the last year for Ford's contract with Stewart-Haas Racing. Hopefully, Chase Briscoe can do a much better and a better chance in 2024. Hopefully, he'll do better so he can have a chance at making the playoffs. Up next, how about the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing? Now, there's a lot of speculation in regards to this 15 car because it sounds like Justin Haley is going to be in the other car next year. So who's going to drive the 15 car? Well, I think it's going to be a multitude of different drivers. My speculation is that drivers like Riley Herbst, J.J. Yaley, Ryan Newman, Cole Custer, Jenson Button, and Haley Deegan will all drive this car at least on 1 to 2 starts at least in 2024. I know they had been talking some rumors about Riley Herbst going full-time with his team, but of course Riley Herbst is returning to Stewart-Haas Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But I think that this will have a multitude of different drivers, some drivers who are kind of in the Xfinity Series, some former drivers, and some drivers to get an opportunity chance to drive with this team. I think this ride will have a mix of different drivers. Up next, how about the 16 car for Kaulig Racing? Now, this car, I talk about AJ Allmendinger, and it sounds like AJ will be returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024. So who's going to be taking the 16 car in 2024? Well, my speculation right now is that I think that Ty Dillon will be driving the 16 car in 2024. Ty Dillon, of course, will not be returning to Spire Motorsports in 2024, and he does have a little bit of sponsorship funding from Ferris Motors, and he's been the most linked driver to this 16 car for the last few weeks. I believe Ty Dillon goes there because of sponsorship funding. Do I agree with him going there? No, absolutely not, but I believe that he'll be in the 16 car in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 17 car for RFK Racing? This already been confirmed as Chris Buescher has a long-term contract with RFK Racing. Chris Buescher's had a breakout year in 2023, already scoring 3 wins this year, and still has a chance to make it to the championship 4. He'll have to likely win Martinsville or Homestead to get that done, but Chris Buescher will have a lot more opportunities and chances to contend, and he'll continue driving the 17 car in 2024 and have a chance to win the championship next season. Up next, how about the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This has been confirmed as Mark Truex Jr. announced a few months ago that he'll be returning the 19 car in 2024. Mark Truex Jr. has had a down playoffs, but he's been pretty good this year, scoring 3 victories, and Mark Truex Jr. will have an opportunity next year. Now, next year could be Mark Truex Jr.'s final year in the NASCAR Cup Series, but there is a chance and shot that he does come back in 2025, but he'll for sure be back in the 19 car in 2024. Up next, how about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This has been confirmed as Chris Bell has a multi-year contract with Joe Gibbs Racing. Chris Bell's had a pretty good year in the Cup Series, so has a chance to make it to the Championship 4. Has won a race earlier this year at Bristol Dirt, and will look to win more races in 2024 as well, and expand his expertise into other forms of racing, and he'll continue driving this car in 2024. Up next, how about the 21 car for the Wood Brothers? This has been confirmed in the last few weeks as Harrison Burton will continue driving the 21 car for the Wood Brothers in 2024. Now, Harrison Burton is going to be expected to improve into 2024 because Harrison Burton has absolutely struggled in the Cup Series the last few years. But the Wood Brothers also been down on performance in speed over the last couple seasons as well. So hopefully Harrison Burton can do a much better job in 2024 and get better because he needs to do better if he's going to stick around with the Wood Brothers after 2024. Up next, how about the 22 car for Team Penske? This is confirmed as Joey Logano has a long-term contract extension with Team Penske through 2028. Joey Logano has struggled in 2023, but every odd year, Joey Logano is a championship threat and contender. And I expect Joey Logano to continue doing that for the long-term and foreseeable future, and he'll continue being this 22 car in 2024. Up next, how about the 23 car for 2311 Racing? This is confirmed already as Bubba Wallace has a multi-year contract with 2311 Racing. Now, interestingly, Freddie Kraft on the Door Bumper Clear Pockets about a month or two ago has stated that Bubba Wallace's contract right now ends at the end of 2024. But I would believe that Bubba Wallace, of how good of a driver he's gotten to be in this last year, I would expect that Bubba Wallace is going to get an extension with this team and will continue driving with this team for a very, very long time as it looks to try to be a championship contender and threat going into the foreseeable future, continues driving a 23 car. Up next, how about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is confirmed as William Byron has a contract through 2025 with Hendrick Motorsports, and I would expect sometime maybe in late 2023 or 2024 that William Byron is going to get a long-term extension with Hendrick Motorsports. This hasn't been a breakout year for him. He's done an amazing job and has a good chance to still win the championship in 2023 and looks to back that up once again in 2024. Up next, how about the 29 car for Richard Childress Racing? Yes, you heard that right. I think Richard Childress Racing is going to bring the 29 car back they used to have when Kevin Harvick was around in the organization and team. And I think that Austin Hill is going to drive this car in 2024. Austin Hill is, of course, returned to Richard Childress Racing Xfinity Series for the next few years, but I think he's going to make select Cup Series starts with this team in 2024. Austin Hill deserves to have some more opportunities and shots. He's done a great job in the Xfinity Series, and he'll be back in the Cup Series, back in the Xfinity Series once again in 2024 and make select Cup starts, in my opinion. Up next, how about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing? This has been confirmed in the last month as Daniel Hemrick will return to Kaulig Racing in 2024. Daniel Hemrick has had a pretty good, decent year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Unfortunately, got eliminated in the round of 12 and has not made a Cup Series start, I think, this year in 2023. But he did have a couple good runs with Kaulig Racing last year. I believe he got a top 10 finish at Auto Club despite being 5 laps down at one point in the race. Daniel Hemrick does have sponsorship funding as well, and that's a big reason why he's going Cup Racing full-time in 2024. Up next, how about the 33 car for Erebus Motorsports? Yes, you heard that right. Erebus Motorsports in the last 2 to 3 weeks has announced their intentions to run in the Cup Series on a select basis. And I believe the number that they're going to use is the number 33 car. It's expected they are going to have a Rich Childress Racing Alliance next year, and Brody Kosecki is going to be the driver. Brody Kosecki's been really good in the V8 Supercars and did make his NASCAR Cup Series debut. They're planning to run 3 to 4 races in 2024, and Brody Kosecki is expected to be the driver of this said team. Up next, how about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports? This has been confirmed as Michael McDowell will be returned to Front Row Motorsports in the 34 car in 2024. Michael McDowell's had a career in the Cup Series, won at the Indy Road Course, and did make the playoffs this season. He has had less top 10s in 2022, but he's still been very, very good this year, and Front Row Motorsports has shown major signs and major flashes of improvement throughout the 2023 season. And McDowell, they made a good decision to keep around next year. He's done a great job with the organization. I know there have been some talks about him going to Stewart-Haas Racing, but he will not be headed to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024. Up next, how about the 36 car for Front Row Motorsports? This I expect to be around once again in 2024 on a part-time basis, and I think that this car will be driven by multiple different drivers. Riley Herbst, Ty Majeski, and even Frankie Muniz, I think, may potentially make his NASCAR Cup Series debut, as Frankie Muniz is heavily rumored to be going to RSS Racing in the Xfinity Series. Ty Majeski has made select Xfinity Series starts in the past, and the truck is kind of similar to the Cup car. And Riley Herbst, of course, has driven for this team in the past, with him returning to Stewart-Haas Racing. Nonetheless, I think this ride will be split and will be back in 2024. Up next, how about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Todd Gillen will continue driving the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports in 2024. Todd Gillen's had a career year in the NASCAR Cup Series, and this comes with the fact that he's been splitting in different rides in different teams throughout the year with Rick Ware Racing as well. He's done a pretty good job this season. He's had some really strong performances throughout the 2023 year, and I think that he will only get better in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This has been confirmed as Ryan Preece will continue driving the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024. He's had a couple good runs this year, and I feel like Ryan Preece throughout the second half of the year has been starting to show some major signs and flashes of improvement. But there's also been downtimes for this 41 car throughout the entire season. Nonetheless, Ryan Preece hopefully can improve and help Stewart-Haas Racing get better next season. Up next, how about the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club? This has been confirmed in the last month. Is John Henry Machek will drive the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club in 2024, as it only makes sense when you think about it. John Henry Machek, of course, has been part of the Toyota stable, and Legacy Motor Club is switching to Toyota in 2024. John Hunter's had a dominant year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and is the current favorite to win the championship right now, and I think he's the odds-on favorite. Nonetheless, John Henry Machek will move up to the NASCAR Cup Series in 2024. Up next, how about the 43 car for Legacy Motor Club? This has been confirmed as Eric Jones will continue driving the 43 car for Legacy Motor Club in 2024. Eric Jones has been turning it a corner lately, especially in the second half of the year. He's had like 7 or 8 top 10 finishes in the last 12 to 13 weeks, and this team is beginning faster on a consistent and a week-by-week basis. I do expect this to continue going into the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 45 car for 23XI Racing? This is already confirmed as Todd Reddick has a long-term contract with 23XI. Todd Reddick's had a pretty good year in the NASCAR Cup Series, scoring 2 wins and still has a chance to win the championship in 2023. And he could have a chance to do that, but if he can't do that in 2023, he'll have a really good chance and great opportunity to do that once again in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 47 car for JTG Doherty Racing? This has been confirmed as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a long-term contract with JTG Doherty. There happens to talk about maybe going to Stewart-Haas Racing at the beginning of 2023, but it'll be with JTG Doherty for many years to come, and looks to try to build JT Doherty into the powerhouse they've been trying to be for a very, very long time, and still be in the 47 car. Up next, how about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is confirmed as Alex Bowman has a contract through 2026, and Ali is going to stick around through 2028, meaning more than likely that Alex Bowman will be staying in the 48 car through at least the 2028 season. Alex Bowman's had a down year in 2023, but I expect Alex Bowman to be back to the top and being a championship contender in 2024. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be learning to grow and doing better things and trying to win races once again in 2024. Up next, how about the 51 car for Rick Ware Racing? This is expected to be the number that Justin Haley is going to drive in 2024, as Justin Haley will join Rick Ware Racing in the 2024 season. Justin Haley's had a hit or miss year in 2023, but if anybody can bring a team up and really start helping the organization out, it is Justin Haley. Long term, I think he's going to go to RFK Racing in the future, but Justin Haley, of course, will join Rick Ware Racing in the 2024 season. Up next, how about the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This is confirmed as Ty Gibbs, of course, is the grandson of Joe Gibbs, so Ty Gibbs basically has a career with Joe Gibbs Racing. He's had a really good rookie year. While he's not won a race this year, he's won 6 or 7 top 10s. He's had a couple top 5s as well. Ty Gibbs looks to have a better year in 2024, and I expect that Ty Gibbs will be maybe an outside championship contender, and I think he'll have a really good chance to make the playoffs in 2024. Up next, how about the 62 car for Beard Motorsports? I do expect that Beard Motorsports is going to return in 2024. And my speculation right now is that the 2 drivers who are going to drive for Beard Motorsports are Parker Kligerman and Austin Hill. Austin Hill, I've already mentioned, will drive select Cup Series races, in my opinion, in the 29 car. But I think he'll run part-time with Beard Motorsports as well because he's driven his team in the past. And I think Parker Kligerman will make some Cup starts as well. I know he does have a job at NBC, but my best guess is they could have him run that 62 car in the beginning of the year. But I expect Beard Motorsports will be back once again in 2024. Up next, how about the 66 car for NBM Motorsports? I think NBA Motorsports is going to be back in the Cup Series in 2024, and I think that Timmy Hill is going to be the driver. Now, Timmy Hill, of course, does have some aspirations to try to get his Truck Series team maybe up in the future to the Xfinity Series, but of course, Timmy Hill, I think, will run part-time at NBM. I also could see a driver like Ryan Newman perhaps driving a 66 car, and maybe a driver like Ryan Reed coming in and driving for the team, but I think if they do come back, it will be with Timmy Hill or Ryan Newman. Up next, how about the 6-7 car for 2311 Racing? I do expect the 2311 Racing is going to bring their third part-time entry back in 2024. And I think among the drivers are going to be Kamui Kobayashi, Ryan Truex, and Carl Edwards. I think Carl Edwards is going to make a one-off start in the Cup Series, maybe at like Gateway perhaps or Nationals, my prediction. I think Kamui Kobayashi makes some road course starts, and I think that Ryan Truex, who I believe will be full-time with JGR and Xfinity, I think he is going to drive this car as well. Nonetheless, I think this car returns. It won't be Kurt Busch, of course, because Kurt, people thought maybe would come back, and of course he's not returning, but I think this car will return once again in 2024. Up next, how about the 74 car for Spire Motorsports? Yes, you heard that right. I think that Spire Motorsports will have the number 74 instead of the 78. They've had a 74 car before, back I think in 2019 or 2020 when they did filming for, I think, The Crew or something like that along those lines on NBC. And I think that this is the number Zane Smith is going to drive. It's already been announced that Zane Smith will be joining Trackhouse/Spire next year in 2024. And of course, that will be Spire Motorsports. Inevitably, I think Zane Smith in 2025 will be a Trackhouse driver. It could be the last of Daniel Suarez in the NASCAR Cup Series with Trackhouse, but nonetheless, Zane Smith's going to join, and they'll use the 74. Up next, how about the 77 car for Spire Motorsports? This has been confirmed in the last 2 weeks as Carson Osbar will drive the 77 car for Spire Motorsports in 2024. Carson Osbar's had a great year in the NASCAR Truck Series, winning 3 races and still could win the Truck Series championship this year. He's also done pretty good in the Cup Series as well, scoring 4 top 20s in 6 or 7 starts. He's had 4 top 20 finishes, had some great pace and great speed as well. I expect Carson Osbar to do great. He's not going to be in the car this week in a Homestead, but he run the final 2 races with Legacy Motor Cup in the 42 and then transition to drive the number 77 car. Up next, how about the 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports? Live Fast Motorsports is planning to run this car on a part-time basis next season, and I expect that it is going to be driven by BJ McLeod and Anthony Alfredo as well. I think Anthony Alfredo is going to return to BJ McLeod's team next year in Xfinity. I think he's going to run part-time, and BJ will run part-time in Cup as well, as this team will have a part-time organization. Up next, how about the 84 car for Legacy Motor Club? Legacy Motor Club is expected to bring their third part-time entry back once again in 2024 for Jimmy Johnson, and I also think that Chandler Smith is going to drive this car on a part-time basis as well. Rumors are speculating that Chandler Smith may leave Kaulig Racing at the end of this year and go to Joe Gibbs Racing's Xfinity program. I think Chandler Smith is deserving of more Cup Series starts. He's had a couple top 20 finishes already in 2 or 3 starts and has done a reasonable job in the Xfinity Series and deserves other shots in Cup. Nonetheless, this car will return once again in 2024. Up next, how about the 91 car for Trackhouse Racing? I think Project 91 is going to be done in 2024. The big reason is because Shane Van Gisbergen is going to run this car on a part-time basis. Shane will have a development deal with Trackhouse Racing next year. His schedule has not been announced at this current moment and this current time, but is it expected that Shane Van Gisbergen is going to run this car probably around 10 to 12 races maybe in the Cup Series, all the road courses, probably some ovals. He's also going to run Xfinity and truck races next year, but Shane Van Gisbergen is joining the Cup Series next year. Of course, he's had 2 career top 10 finishes. There's probably going to be outs in the not-so-distant future. Nonetheless, Shane Van Gisbergen will be part of this team in 2024. And finally, driving the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing will be Daniel Suarez once again. Now, Daniel Suarez does have a contract with Trackhouse Racing through 2025, but if Daniel Suarez does not step up to the plate in 2024, this could be his last season with Trackhouse Racing. Daniel Suarez has been hit or miss this year in the Cup Series, and he needs to do much better in 2024. Hopefully he can do that, can try to make the playoffs. Trackhouse had a down year all around, but I think that things can hopefully improve and get better for 2024. So, those are my updated 2024 NASCAR silly season predictions. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Spire on Patreon as well. Links description below that, and comment your thoughts below and your predictions below for 2024. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. If there's any major NASCAR news and race later today, there should be a news video dropping. If not, tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have the NASCAR Xfinity Series and Truck Series race views from Homestead. And then on Sunday, of course, we'll have the NASCAR Cup Series race view from Homestead. And then on Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video recapping the news over the last 4 or 5 days. We got a lot of great content dropping on the channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.